Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemasek Yahweh Shabbaktha. I'm Captain Montezak, Captain Priest of LOZ. And we're about to start the Friday history class, go into the history of our people in the scriptures. I'm the teacher for tonight, as always. And the brother who will be my reader is going to be
Officer Yashar.
Khan. Hallelujah. So with the sound of the blowing of the shofar, we're going to rise and face the east, and we're going to begin the class. Hallelujah.
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 The blowing of the shofar.
Shabbat their blessings.
The blowing of the shofar.
The Shabbat their blessings. Repeat after me, Hebrew only. Blessed be Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shah to give us the Sabbath day in peace. Baruch atah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Latananawa.
Thanawa.
Hath Shabbat.
Hashabbath.
Bashalawam.
Bashalawam.
Blessed be Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shah which gives us the law. Baruch atah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Latananawa.
Thanawa.
Hathorah.
Hathorah.
Blessed be Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shai that gives us the light to see. Baruch atah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Lantananawa.
Thanawa.
Ha'awar.
Hawa'ah.
Lakra'ah.
Laka'ah.
Blessed be Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shai that gives us the ram's horns to call the people. Baruch atah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Lantananawa.
Thanawa.
Ha'awar.
Hawa'ah.
Haya'ol.
Hayo.
Kayaran.
Kairon.
Lakra'ah.
Laka'ah.
Ha'ayim.
Ha'ayim.
Blessed be Yahweh in the name of the anointed Yahweh Shai that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Baruch atah Yahweh.
Baruch atah Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Lathanawa.
Thanawa.
Hashaman.
Hashabban.
Zayath.
Zayath.
La.
La.
Mashak.
Mashach.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
The water.
The water.
Tamyad.
Tamyad.
Aman.
Aman. All praise to the Most High God, Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. The reading of Psalms 121 in the English, the blessing of the Shabbat day. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Bahashem, Amashiach Yahweh Shai, Thawara, Thamyad, Aman.
Aman.
The Arun Palau and Lashon Kodash, repeat the Hebrew.
Calling the Lord's Calling the Lord's Prayer. Repeat the Hebrew only. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Haya.
Haya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwethka.
Malakwethka.
Thaba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaika.
Ratazaika.
Haya.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Kowa.
Kawa.
Haya.
Haya.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Latananawa.
Thanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kayawam.
Hayawam.
Wasalakinawa.
Salaknawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Awafkinawa.
Kasalakinawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kabawathinawa.
Kawafkinawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Dabrainawa.
Tabianawa.
Banasai 1.
Masai one.
Abo.
Abo.
Awashainawa.
Awashinawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Haya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwath.
Amalakwa.
Wala'ala.
Wa'ala.
Walatai Parath.
Wapaiparaf.
Wa'alamyan.
Lawalanya.
Bahashem.
Mahashem.
Hamasiyak.
Amashiach.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahushai.
The water.
Tawara.
Thamyad.
Damyan.
Aman.
Aman. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For forgive men their trespasses, your Father will forgive you. But forgive men not their trespasses, now will Father forgive your trespasses. Abana Yahweh Shema Sekawashai, Thawara, Thamyad, Aman.
Aman.
Hallelujah.
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 All praise and the power go to the Most High God, Yahweh Shema Sekawashai, for show his mercy endure forever. I pray unto you how you continue to do thy will in these last days, setting forth that righteous spirit of Zakar, the spirit of remembrance, O Yahweh, allowing us, the so-called black, Latino, indigenous Indians, and the 12 tribes of Israel scattered across the four corners of this earth, the diaspora, Yahweh, to continue to remember who they are and what they ought to do in these last days. I pray unto how you continue to send forth that righteous spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I pray unto you how you send forth that righteous spirit of protection and strength, O Yahweh. And I pray you send forth that righteous spirit from Maparia, Allah, the spirit of Raphael, that you send forth that righteous spirit of healing unto the 12 tribes of Israel, healing them from any pestilence, disease, and sickness that may be afflicting them. And I pray unto Yahweh that you continue to do thy will and bring a speedy destruction to the place of our captivity and a righteous hand to deliver thy people back to their land. And all this I say in the name of the anointed Son of Mashiach Yahushai, Thawara, Thamyad, Aman.
Aman.
You may be seated. All right. All praise the Most High. Okay. All praises to the Most High. It's as if we didn't go nowhere. We're back here again on a Friday. Shalom, brother. We're back here again on a Friday, going over the Friday history class. Going over the Friday history, right? The history of our people. You know, the knowledge and information that's been taken away from us for so long. But now, living in the last days, the Most High is bringing that knowledge back to us. He's revealing it to us, right? We're getting more in contact, more in, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the specific word I'm looking for? Brother Yakol, right? What's the word I'm looking for? We're getting more in tune with our original selves, right? Getting back in tune with that culture, the history, the practices, the rituals, you know, the symbolisms and what we did and why we did it. We're getting in tune with all of that, right? And we're understanding the meanings of these men's lives that's written in these scriptures, that for so long being in the Christian church, we saw these men as just being men, characters. You know, fictitious characters created by the Christian church and giving us some type of moral lesson because of their lives. But when we read these scriptures and we tie this in with prophecy, history, archaeology, then we understand these men actually existed. These men actually lived these lives. So now there's something I can learn from these men. They're not just characters anymore. Not saying that you can't learn from a character, but it means so much more when these characters, these people, were one, your ancestors, and two, live the same type of affliction, same type of tribulation you deal with in your day-to-day lives. Right? When you understand that David was nothing more than just an African American, going by the true term and what the Lord has called him, a Judite. Right? Then you're able to get understanding. You're able to learn from his faults. Absolutely, brother. You know what I mean? So now let's get Colossians 3 and 17. Let's get straight into it. So let's do a small review while he's getting that. Or you got it already?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read it.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right. So whatever we do, we have to give all praises and thanks to the Most High God through his anointed son, Macc, who the world ignorant called Jesus Christ. Right? So now, a small review before we go into the portion. Quick awareness. We're almost finished with the book of Maccabees. First Maccabees, all praise the Most High. Like I said before, as far as Second Maccabees, that's like the perfect. Like I said before, it's the perfect the perfect example I can give on why we won't be going to Second Maccabees as we did First Maccabees, chapter after chapter after chapter until finished, is because Second Maccabees and First Maccabees is like Kings and Chronicles, right? You know, you have a linear path, a linear timeline of events that's taking place one after another in First Maccabees. Second Maccabees doesn't do that. Second Maccabees picks up on different events, some a little bit before First Maccabees takes place, and some information going to further depth about situations that was going on in First Maccabees, right? So going chapter by chapter is my plan for Second Maccabees, but what we will be doing before we move on past Maccabees is that we'll be going into depth about certain things that were being brought out in First Maccabees, and it's going into depth a little bit more in Second Maccabees, and then we'll move on. Right, my full intention and plan is to go into where all of this is leading to, right? You know, what on the chronological timeline, what's the biggest event that occurs after the time period of Judas Maccabeus? My brother Yakol. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly, brother. Yakol? I don't want to say Yakol. You look like a Yakol. I don't know, slack you. All right, your call. There you go, brother.
Right before Maccabees came into place, where they were in captivity.
Mm-hmm.
With the Persians around.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nehemiah happened.
Mm-hmm.
Got back into their homeland.
Mm-hmm.
And they back into their homeland, and they built their temple up, and they living like how they supposed to live.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so like you're going backwards in time. I meant forwards. I mean, what's the biggest significant event that took place after Judas Maccabeus time period? Mm-hmm. There you go. It's the birth of the Messiah. It's the Macc. It's less than 200 years, and here he comes, right? Because it's not that long until the first century after Judas Maccabeus. It's a couple generations of Simon's lineage, the Hasmonean dynasty, and then they're overthrown, you know. But they're just me speaking on that remind me on something I do want to touch on before we get to Christ, right? It's a specific class that we'll be going into, speaking on Herod's connection to the Hasmonean dynasty. Herod's connection to the Hasmonean dynasty, which I feel a lot of people haven't touched on too often, but it's something that should be known. How did Herod become the ruler in the first century while Christ was alive? Because when we left off, the Maccabeans, the Hasmonean dynasty, the Levitical king priests were ruling over Israel. So how did, in the first century, less than 200 years later, this pale-faced Caucasian Edomite, Herod, is ruling on the throne? How did that happen? And that's what I would like to go into after we finish Maccabees. But all praise to the Most High. So, small review. Where did we leave off last week and what was going on? Who knows? And I'm talking to the chat as well. I see the chat be, sitting on their hands sometimes. So what's going on? What happened last week? What's a significant event that happened last week when we was going into the portion? Mm-hmm. Some new revelations, things.
Simon just made a covenant with the Romans.
Not necessarily, not yet.
I believe they were sending letters back and forth to each other, if I'm not wrong.
With who? Letters were being sent back and forth, but with who? The Spartans. Yeah. The letters were being sent back and forth with Johnathan and the Spartans. Now, why?
To create peace between them.
Was it to make peace?
Or join a union together?
No.
More to say we're brothers. Let's remember that we're family.
There you go. Give a brother a hand. It was the acknowledgement and the revelation that Johnathan and many of the Israelites at that time understood that the Spartans that were living in Sparta at that time were Jews. They were Israelites, right? And Johnathan was recognizing them and letting them know, we never forgot y'all. We understood that you're Israelites over there, right? It uses the word Lacedaemonians in the standard Apocrypha, but you look at that word in other translations or look at it in the Greek, it's speaking of the Spartans, right? So that's where we left off. We're going to be kicking up from 1 Maccabees chapter 12, verse 24. All right, let's get that.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Johnathan heard that Demetrius' princes were come to fight against him with a greater host than afore, he removed from Jerusalem and met him in the land of Amatheus. For he gave them no respite to enter his country. He sent spies also unto the tents who came again, and told him that they were appointed to come upon them in the night season.
So you gotta read a little louder.
Verse 27. Wherefore, so soon as the sun was down, Johnathan commanded his men to watch and to be in arms, that all the night long they might be ready to fight. Also he sent forth sentinels round about the host.
What sentinels? Who knows what that is?
Like a fleet of men.
What kind of men?
That take
Just grabbing men off the street? Come here. Come over here and come do this. What are sentinels?
Like a fleet of men that's usually outside the territory that watch over as an extra protective eyes. I said eyes.
I'm missing a word. You're missing a word. What's their occupation? Where are they?
Spies.
Nope.
Intellect team.
Nope. Your call? Damn, how you get that word so quick? You searched it up. No, I'll just play with you. But yes, absolutely. It's exactly what you said, but just this makes it very specific. They are soldiers. This is their role, to guard a city, be put in these positions, have certain routes, routines, right? Go ahead.
Verse 28. But when the adversaries heard that Jonathan and his men were ready for battle, they feared and trembled in their hearts, and they kindled fires in their camp. Howbeit Jonathan and his company knew it not till the morning, for they saw the lights burning. Then Jonathan pursued after them, but overtook them not, for they were gone over the river Elthurus. Wherefore Jonathan turned to the Arabians who were called Zabudians, and smote them, and took their spoils. And removing thence, he came to Damascus, and so passed through all the country. Simon also went forth and passed through the country unto Ascalon, and the holds there adjoining, from whence to turn aside the Joppe, and won it.
To Joppa.
To Joppa, and won it. Verse 34. For he had heard that they would deliver the hold unto them that took Demetrius' part. Wherefore he set a garrison there to keep it. After this came Jonathan home again, and calling the elders of the people together, and he consulted with them about building strongholds in Judea, and making the walls of Jerusalem higher, and raising a great mount between the tower and the city, for to separate it from the city. That so it might be alone, that men might neither sell nor buy in it. Verse 37. Upon this they came together to build up the city, for as much as part of the wall toward the brook on the east side was fallen down, and they repaired that which was called Caphitha. Simon also set up Adida in Cephla, and made it strong with gates and bars. Now Tryphon went about to get the kingdom of Asia, and to kill Antiochus, the king, that he might set the crown upon his own head. Howbeit he was afraid that Jonathan would not suffer him, and that he would fight against him. Wherefore he sought a way how to take Jonathan, that he might kill him. So he removed and came to Besan. Then Jonathan,
it's very interesting. You're reading the book of Maccabees, and you think it's just gonna be conflict and war and battles between us and just heathens, right? When entering into this third beast, what we realize more than all the other nations that ruled over us, Babylon, the Persians, the Medes, and so on and so forth, most are coming into the era when Esau would rule over us. We see a lot more internal battling, right? We see a lot more internal battling, right? There's no depth also, like, there's no historical perspective of this, what I'm about to say, but there's only prophetic explanations of these events that I'm about to speak of, and it's called the Diadochi Wars, or the Seleucid Wars, right? Is it the Seleucid Wars? It is the Seleucid Wars. Yeah, the Seleucid Wars, right? There's Seleucid War 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it was conflict between Egypt and the Seleucid Empire, right? And it was a conflict between these two Edomite groups that was ruled by Alexander, or by the original territory that he had control of. And we see constant conflict between in this era when Esau is ruling over. But we don't see that when Persia took over, right? Persian media, when they're in control, we don't see constant revolts and this other group of Persians is trying to rule over the Persians, or this other group of Babylonians trying to separate from Babylon. We don't see that, right? But just like the statue of Daniel, as the value of each metal, as time is passing by, each metal's value is decreasing, right? Babylon, the peak of gold, right? And then you got the brass, right? Or no, Slakia. The gold, the silver, the brass, and so on and so forth. But Esau, you get down to Esau's the brass and then the iron. And then you got the so on and so forth, right? So we see that the value is decreasing, right? Loyalties are decreasing. Breaking of covenants is happening a lot more, right? Because time is going past. And just like the scripture says, give me that, what's that scripture? A wax cold. The love of many shall wax cold. Let me see. There you go. Matthew 24 and 12. Matthew 24 and 12.
The book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
What it say?
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
It says, because iniquity shall abound. What does it mean that iniquity is abound? What does that mean?
Because iniquity it'll be more around and it'll pop up more often and be like a casual thing to people. Iniquity be more like, it'll be more constant and like it'll be more of like a roundabout thing that's always around people, like always around the mix of the people.
Okay, I'll build on that, right? It's going to be around. It's going to be more often. It's going to increase, right? Wickedness is going to increase as time goes by on this earth, right? And as wickedness is increasing, then you see that the love and the loyalties and the cares of covenants and bounds and vows, these things are decreasing, right? People are becoming more degenerate, right? Just like if you've seen that series, what's that series called? Shaka Zulu. Have anyone seen the series Shaka Zulu? If you've seen the series Shaka Zulu, that's what made him had such an advantage at that time, because he was the only one saying, let's throw away our traditions. Let's throw away our traditions. Why are we setting up war like this? Right? Why are we sending out a man each one by one? No, let's all run out and go to war. Right? And everyone was against him because he was throwing away, disregarding generations of tradition. Right? But this is something that occurs as Esau is becoming more prevalent in the world, having more control over this world and all these other countries, just like the scripture says when it says that the whore shall make the nations wild or crazy or mad with her wine. And that wine is symbolic for her doctrine. You know, it wasn't those other groups that those Edomites, or you know those group of Edomites in the Shaka Zulu series. It wasn't all the groups that the Edomites went to. They went to his group. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and keep reading. Oh, one more scripture. One more scripture. Let's go to the book of Mark. (3 and 26).
The book of Mark chapter 3 and verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided.
Start from verse 23. Verse 24.
Verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
What did it say?
If a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
Like the scripture says in Daniel 7, that there's going to be 4 kingdoms. All this internal battling, Antiochus, Demetrius, Typhon. You see how Typhon said, I'm going to go to Asia. I'm going to take this crown and put it on my own head. He's a goddamn devil. He's still an Edomite. He just taken from another Edomite. But yet, that's just showing you how if a kingdom is divided against itself, it's not going to stand. Ultimately, all this conflict weakened Greece, ultimately to lead to Rome coming up next. Right? Why did Rome seek to make an allyship with Judea? Make an allyship with Judas? It's the same reason why the Germans sought to make an allyship with Mexico while they were making wars in Europe and trying to keep America out of the war. I think it was either World War I or World War II. I think it was World War I, right? It's called the Zimmerman telegram, right? The Germans sent that telegram to to Mexico, and they were trying to say, yo, start up some conflict, do this, then the third with America to keep them occupied, to keep them out of the war that we have going on in Europe, right? But supposedly America intercepted the telegram, got it, and said, you know what? Damn it, we're going to step into this war, right? And that's how they got involved with the war in World War I, right? So go ahead and read it. Read that one more time.
Book of Mark 3 and verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
So Rome got involved with Judea because Judea was at conflict with the Seleucid Empire. And as Judea continued to do that, was in constant conflict, war, because war cost. Men's lives are being lost, resources, rations, all these things take part in war, right? And slowly, as we're warring with these people, they're being broken down. So, Rome's just sitting on the side, just waiting. Listen, they doing it for us. We don't have to step in like the Greeks did with Persia, like the Persians did with the Babylonians. We'll just wait, and then we'll just come in and take territory by territory by territory until now we're the new world power, right? So go ahead and read that. Keep going.
And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided,
come on.
He cannot stand.
What it say?
He cannot stand.
He cannot stand. Come on.
But hath an end.
What it say?
But hath an end.
But have an end, right? So this place has an end. Esau's, his power structure, all these different type of empires and kingdoms that he set up, they're ultimately destined to be destroyed. You know what I mean? Is the captain still back there? It's all right. Go ahead and check that. Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately going to be destroyed, and it's ultimately going to end, right? So let me see real quick. Where verse he left off in 1 Macc chapter 12? Yoko? Oh, man. You don't have the Apocrypha? Oh, man. You got to rewatch that class from last week, then. Shalom, brother. I mean, hold on. Let me see. Well, I think there's one somewhere, but I'll have him look. I'll have the other brother look for one for you. Because I know we have one over around here. Let me see real quick. What verse you left off on?
41. The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 41.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you read that already. Go straight to verse 42.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you read it. You said
I read the first half of it, but I didn't go.
Oh, you're right. You were right. It was the same word they used in the end of the verse. Best saying. All right, go ahead.
Then Johnathan went out to meet him with 40,000 men chosen for the battle and came to Bethshan.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Tryphon saw that Johnathan came with so great a force, he durst not stretch his hand against him, but received him honorably and commended him unto all his friends and gave him gifts and commanded his men of war to be obedient unto him as to himself. Unto Johnathan also he said, Why hast thou put all this people to so great trouble, seeing there is no war betwixt us? Therefore send them now home again, and choose a few men to wait on thee, and come thou with me to Bartholomew's, for I will give it thee and the rest of the strongholds and forces and all that have many charges as for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will return and depart, for this is the cause of my coming. Verse 46. So Johnathan, believing him, did as he bade him, and sent away his host, who went into the land of Judea, and with himself, if he retained but their 1,000, but Slaka.
Okay, this is very important. Start back from verse 41 one more time.
Come on. Verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Then Johnathan went out to meet with him with 40,000 men chosen for the battle, and came to Bethshan.
Uh-huh.
Now when Tryphon saw that Johnathan came with so a great force, he durst not stretch out his hand against him.
What did it say?
He durst not stretch his hand against him.
Right. So this Edomite understood. He said, yo, Jonathan's coming with this great force. He's like, yo, it would be stupid to come fight him with this great force behind him. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 43. But received him honorably and commended him unto all his friends and gave him gifts and commanded his men of war to be as obedient unto him as to himself.
You know, Esau loves war. Esau loves blood shedding, right? But one of his greatest tools to use is deception, right? It's to deceive you, right? Fool you. So he saw that he couldn't win if he came up against Johnathan. He has his goal, his object of desire right in front of him. He know he can't get him just by, operating using the sword, so he used deception, right? And how do you use deception? By giving him gifts. Oh, shalom. How you doing? How you say that word again? Shalom? Shalom, brother. Oh, what you say? Ak? Shalom, Ak. How you doing, brother? I love your beard. It looks very oiled. I never seen a beard like that. You saying all these good things to lower Jonathan's guard. Go ahead.
Verse 44. Unto Johnathan also he said, why hast thou put all this people to so great trouble, seeing there is no war betwixt us?
He said, why you bring all these people? Like, you came over here like you trying to find some smoke. Let me tell you, my friend, there is no smoke present.
Let me tell you, my friend.
Go ahead.
Verse 45. Therefore send them now home again, and choose a few men to wait on thee, and come thou with me to Bartholomew's, for I will give it to thee. For I will give it thee. And the rest of the strongholds and forces and all that have any charge, as for me, I will return and depart, for this is the cause of my coming.
Yeah, just come, come over here. I'm going to give you these strongholds and stuff like this, and it's going to be all good. And this is not exactly this way, but this is exactly the same way they got, for my Levites out there, they got Toussaint Louverture, right? Are you familiar with Toussaint Louverture? Toussaint Louverture was a Haitian general, right, who fought for so-called Haitians. He was on leading the Haitian forces during the revolution prior to Jean-Jacques Dessalines, right? Toussaint Louverture was the main force and leader that was leading Haitian people during that time. Exactly. The French invited him to France to make some type of treaty and peace, and guess what they did to him? They slammed him in. They took his family. Right? It's going crazy. It's exactly like the Johnathan. They took his family and children hostage, right? But by then it was too late. They had him in France, and they slammed him into a damn prison on a mountain in France. And that man died of ammonia, right? And that's the same way they got our Northern Kingdom brother of the tribe of Reuben. His name was Osceola, famous Reubenite Seminole Indian warrior here in Florida. They got him the same way. Got him on a false claim. Got him on a false claim of peace treaty. This Edomite got him and said, listen, I know. He told Andrew Jackson, he said, listen, I know you wanted me to just fight him and to overcome and beat him on the field, but listen, I got him sitting in my prison now. And how he did that? By inviting Osceola to a peace treaty, and then he slammed him in the prison. And he died in the prison, guess what? By what? Ammonia as well. So they did it to Southern Kingdom, they did it to Northern Kingdom, and they do this to our people. They do it by a false sense of security, giving our people what? Deception. That's why Gad said he speaks with a fourth tongue. God damn it, Esau speaks with a sixth tongue. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 46. So Johnathan, believing him, did as he bade him, and sent away his host, who went into the land of Judea. And with himself he retained but 3,000 men, of whom he sent 2,000 to Galilee, and 1,000 went with him. Now as soon as Johnathan entered into Bartholomew's, they of Bartholomew's shut the gate and took him, and all that came with him they slew with the sword. Then sent Tryphon and host of footmen and horsemen into Galilee, and into the great plain to destroy all of Jonathan's company. Verse 50. But when they knew that Johnathan and they that were with him were taken and slain, they encouraged one another and went close together, prepared to fight. They therefore that followed upon them, perceiving that they were ready to fight for their lives, turned back again. Whereupon they all came into the land of Judea peaceably, and there they bewailed Johnathan and them that were with him. And they were sore afraid, wherefore all Israel made great lamentation. Then all the heathen that were round about them sought to
So
destroy them.
when this was going on, right, between us and Tryphon, verse 53, read it again.
Verse 53.
Mhm.
Then all the heathen that
Then
were
all the heathen, non-Tryphon, all the heathen just around about us, seeing this, go ahead.
then all the heathen that were round about them sought to destroy them.
What did they do?
Sought to destroy them.
They weren't even involved with Tryphon. They weren't even involved with us or the conflict or situation that was taking place. But they saw our success under Jonathan's rule. They saw where we were heading to as a people and said, yo, they're down, so we're going to take them all the way down. They suffered a loss, so we're going to make sure they never get up from this loss. You understand? And this, when you isolate and you look at it and you analyze these type of verses, then you understand the mindset of the heathens, right? If Esau's going to profit off of us, the heathens aren't going to be like, no, that's wrong. That shouldn't happen. No, they're going to try to put their little finger in and try to profit off us as well. Because this is how this world works. And this is the world that Esau doesn't want us to see, right? So keep reading. They're going to drop some more gems on us. Read that verse 53 again.
Then all the heathen that were round about them sought to destroy them. For said they.
For they said what?
They have no captain.
They have no what?
They have no captain.
Wasn't because some of our people died, some marvelous or valiant soldiers died. It's because we had no captain. And another word for that would be what? We have no what? One more time?
Leader.
We have no leader, no leadership, right? We have no damn leadership. And the heathens are going to identify that. They don't have no leadership. They're all over the place. We can take advantage of that. Let's take advantage of that. You understand? And I think the perfect example I saw was, I don't know for too many people who watch Netflix or have Netflix. There's a new show out. It's called 23-1. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's an amazing show. Marvelous, right? So basically, 23-1 is it's a show based off reality. It takes place in real time. And basically a sheriff, I forgot what state it was in, but a sheriff, he recognized, 23-1 basically means the inmates in their facility, right, in their holding facility, they said that basically they have a system where they hold inmates for 23 hours out of the day in their cells, no contact with anybody, right, beside their cellmate, and they have 1 hour to go eat and 1 hour, and within that hour to basically, read, watch TV, step outside, so on and so forth. And after that, they get slammed back into their cell for 23 hours, right? And so, after 23 hours of being in a cell with another individual, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to be hot-headed. Anything is going to set you off, right? Someone skips you in the line, a normal day, Shalom, Cap, and a normal day, keep it unlocked. So a normal day, you wouldn't mind someone skipping your line. This is whatever. But after 23 hours being in your cell, and now you're finally being let out to eat something,
that nigga gotta die.
You'll take a nigga's head off. And this sheriff, which is an Israelite, recognized that and said, we got to change this. So he made his facility, he turned his facility in a way that he let the soldiers out for let them manage themselves. No patrol inside the facility, no guards, no nothing. All the guards are doing is checking the cameras, and that's it. But the inmates have to learn how to operate and interact with each other rather than constantly being in there for 23 hours, come out for 1 hour, maybe stab each other, maybe fight each other, maybe this, that, third, add more time to their sentence already, But what I realized when he allowed them out, the majority is Jake, and there's remnants of Edomites among them. And what I saw is that the Edomites, they took advantage of the divide between the elders among our people and the young among our people. The elders understood that They want to take advantage of this situation, want to stay out and not have to go back to that system of 23 hours in your cell, 1 hour out. So they understood how important that was. The young men didn't understand that. They were out in their cells. They were out and about, running around, jumping on the desk, drawing on the wall, doing all crazy stuff, right? The Edomites took advantage of that, piqued the young men against the elders until the elders said, yo, we're not going to do anything anymore. Y'all do you. Y'all do something stupid. Y'all mess this up for us, and we end up back in ourselves. It is what it is. And then once the elders stepped back, then the Edomites encouraged the young men to do the stupidest thing I ever seen. Right? To take a little battery from the clock on top of the wall and make that thing into a lighter. Right? And the Edomites didn't go do it. It was the young Jakes that went to go do it. But they were so willing to do it because those young men didn't have any leaders. They didn't have the leadership. They didn't have nobody to tell them, yo, you really want to do that? But what did the Edomites have to do first? They had to get rid of the leadership. They had to get rid of the elders. Right? Once them elders are gone, the spoil is ready to be plundered. You understand? Right? Let's get a scripture real quick. I'm talking too much. Let's get a scripture real quick. Huh? What did we say? Are we live? Yeah, we are. So let's get the book of Sirach. Let me see. There you go. 36 verse 25. Now, the context of this verse deals more so a man and his wife, right? But not completely, not necessarily. And I'm going to explain. Go ahead and read that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 35. It's like
36, verse 25.
Chapter 36, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
Where no hedges, there the possession is spoil.
Possession. Read it one more time.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoil.
It says, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, right? So the hedge will be like your fence, a wall, right? You know, Israel is common for us to build walls, right? So the wall, a fence, a bush, right, that covers around your house. When that's gone, then who can come into your house when you're not there? Thieves. Right? That security is not there anymore. You understand? So it's saying when no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. Right? Hold on 1 second before you say something. Read it. Keep going.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
Uh-huh.
And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
So once I said, the context is dealing with a man being the hedge because he's the leader. He's head of the household. Right? The possession would be the wife, but not necessarily. Because the only thing that's not only is the wife the possession of a man, it's also his what? His children. His children's possession as well. So when the father's not there, the husband's not there, the woman, she's open up to be deceived. She's open up for her mind to be stolen, to be persuaded to all types of wickedness and evil. What she thinks and feels is right for her and her children, right? And them children, they finished when there's no hedge there, right? They're open for anything. The wiles and the desires of the streets, or the whatever emotions going on with their mother, or the TV or Instagram or social media, right? They're open for all of that. But the Lord didn't just call himself a father to us. He also called himself what to us? He also called himself a
husband.
Give the brother a hand. The Lord called himself a husband to us, and we're his wife. So now the Lord said he departed himself from us because we broke our covenant with him. You understand? Committing all types of spiritual fornications, actual fornication, disobeying him. So he said, I'm backing up. So now if there's no hedge, what happens to the possession?
Oh, for grabs.
It's spoiled. We're spoiled, right? The father is gone, right? The husband, our Lord, is gone, What comes along with him is the establishment of leaders. The leaders are gone. So our people has been spoiled. For a long time, we've been spoiled. But now, the Most High is bringing them leaders back. Right? Getting our people back in order. Right? So let's prove evidence that our people are spoiled. Give me Jeremiah. Jeremiah 2.
22:2.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Two and 14. Actually, not you. Don't read that. I want someone down there to read it. One of y'all brothers read it. 2 and 14, yeah. When you read it, stand up and read it with a strong voice. Jeremiah 2 and 14.
Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?
Read it one more time. Jeremiah, don't forget to read chapter and verse. Jeremiah 2 and 14.
14:2.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 2 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Right? Go ahead.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Is he a homeborn slave? Right? Jeremiah is calling Israel a servant and a slave. Right? A slave is at what level in a social class? It's at the bottom of the barrel. So Jeremiah is basically saying, Israel is in the bottom of the bottom. Why is he there? And he's there, and go ahead.
Why is he spoiled?
And he's spoiled. I know a lot of times we see the word spoiled, and we think spoiled means like rotten in your behavior. The spoiled is in reference to you having nothing. You don't have anything. You're without. Without wisdom, knowledge, understanding, leaders, common sense. You're without anything. So Jeremiah is seeing our people and saying, why are you in the bottom and why you don't have nothing? You understand? And it's because without a hedge, the possession's what? It's spoiled. You know what I mean? Because we have no leaders for so long, we've been spoiled as a people, left in a desolate state, right? But let's read scripture. Give me the book of 2nd Ezra. Yeah, you can read it. Throw water, brother. You can sit. Throw water.
Ezra or Ezra?
Ezra's.
That doesn't help me at all. What was the book and what was the chapter verse?
Hold on 1 second. Okay. 2nd Ezra 1 and 38.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 1 and verse 38. And now, brethren, behold, what glory and see the people that come from the east.
What did it say?
Behold, what glory and see the people that cometh from the east.
Behold the glory of those who come from the east. Who came from the east? One more time. We did. We're the people coming from the east. Right? Go ahead.
Unto whom I will give for leaders.
Someone down there, Captain Alia, give me Jeremiah 18 and 17. Go ahead and read one more time.
Unto whom I will give for leaders.
The Most High God said, don't worry. You're spoiled because you made yourself spoiled. But don't worry. I'm going to give you leaders. You're going to be given shepherds after my own heart. All right, go ahead and read that.
Unto whom I will give for leaders.
Whom I will give for leaders. Go ahead.
Abraham.
What it say?
Abraham.
Abraham, come on.
Isaac.
Come on.
And Jacob.
Come on.
Oseas.
Come on.
Amos.
Come on.
Machias.
Read.
Joel.
Uh-huh.
Abadias,
Come on.
and Jonas,
Yeah.
Nahum,
Uh-huh.
and Abuk, and Saphias,
Uh-huh.
Agigas, Zachary, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord.
Right. The Lord is saying that he's going to give us these prophets again. These leaders are going to be here with us, right? We're going to have leadership once again, right? Now, we know already through the process of reincarnation, we don't have no remembrance under the sun. We don't remember our past lives, right? So these leaders that we read about in the scriptures, Judas Maccabeus, Daniel, David, Moses, all these different men, they're still here now. And they're still being set up to be leaders of our people today. You understand? There's a reason why there's certain men the Most High is using to rise up, to go out and build these organizations, build up these places, these sanctuaries for our people to gather and be together. Because the Most High is using the same guys that he used before. No different, nothing new under the sun, like Solomon said. Right? All right, and just to add on to that, when it says that these people are coming from the east, read that scripture you got.
Jeremiah chapter 18 and verse 17.
Right, this is Jeremiah 18 and 17. Let's see what Jeremiah says. Go ahead.
I will scatter them as with an east wind.
Jeremiah said, this is Jeremiah proclaiming what the Lord said was going to happen to us. What did he say?
I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy.
The Lord said he was going to scatter us with an east wind before our enemies, right? If you're being pushed from the east, what direction do you go? You go west. So if we came from the eastern hemisphere, where are we going to go? We're going to the western hemisphere. And that's where we came. That's where we came, and that's where we are today. Right? Going back to this scripture right here, the people that are coming from the east, that's us. You understand? So the Most High will give us leaders again. The Most High will protect the possession again. You was about to ask, you was going to make a comment or ask a question?
Yeah, it's not necessary. It was on like the hedge of protection because you was giving out different examples.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Communities, they are surrounded by different canals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get to the beach, you know how before we get to the camp, we have to cross a bridge. You know, these are, you know, some of these things are strategic because they use it as hedges because they understand the importance of it. You live here in Broward County? Coconut Creek.
They got some over there in Coconut Creek too.
You be seeing them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They like surround the whole neighborhood. They surround the whole neighborhood with like a water trough. I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean. So go ahead. Let's go back. So the point of me going into this is showing that the heathens understand the perfect moment for them to come after us is when we have no leader, when we don't have no structure. When we don't have no structure, we're left in a state of confusion, and we're easy for picking, right? No father. You can manipulate the wife, right? Manipulate the children, right? Have them do whatever you want them to do. Have them, the son and the daughter, reverse roles, right? How about reverse the roles of the child and the mother, right? Children talking to the mother however they want. Acting like they can't get their behind whooped, right? So let's keep going.
Come on. The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 13. It's like a chapter 53. It's like a chapter 12, verse 53.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the heathen that were round about them sought to destroy them. For said they have no captain, nor any to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore, let us make war upon them and take away the memorial from among men.
Right. Chapter 13.
Chapter 13. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and to destroy it, he saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, and went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together, and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren in my father's house and have done for the laws and for the sanctuary. The battles also and troubles which we have seen, by reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. Now therefore, be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my own brethren. Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Now as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived, and they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Johnathan thy brother.
What did it say?
Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Johnathan thy brother.
Go ahead.
Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou command us, that we will do. So then he gathered together all the men of war and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about. Verse 11.
See, the Most High didn't never left our people complete desolate at that time with no leadership, right? And it just shows a higher level of humility of Simon, right? Keeping in mind that some enemy of them, because like I said before, the enemy wasn't just the heathens at that time. The enemy was our own people as well. You know, a lot of our people who wanted to side with the heathens. A lot of our people who wanted to take some advantage. Oh, me? No, I'm good. I got. Oh, him.
I'm good.
Yo, Cap. Bring 2 bottles of water, Bible shot. Yeah, 2. The water. The water. So as I was saying before, the heathens will take advantage of that. But let's go ahead and keep reading. Salakia. Oh, not Salakia, not the heathens. Our own people that are wicked and want to take advantage of what the heathens can offer them would have taken advantage of Simon stepping up and choosing himself to say, I'm going to help lead y'all now. They would have been like, yo, what about your brother? You're not going to put all your energy to go save him? Aren't you going to put your energy to go help him and get him out of being a slave to not slave, but a captive to the heathens? It seems like Simon may have betrayed y'all. Maybe he set up Johnathan. You know, Jake, this is how Jake get down, bro. This is how our people get down, you know. But go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 11. Also he sent Johnathan, the son of Absalom, and with him a great power to Joppe, who casting out them that were therein remained therein it. So Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land of Judea, and Johnathan was with him inward. But Simon pitched his tents at Adea over against the plain. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Johnathan and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying,
Saying what?
Whereas we have Johnathan thy brother in hold, it is for money that we is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him.
Ah, that's a power move. That's a power move. He held Johnathan because he thought that he held Johnathan, that was their leader, that would put them in disarray, confusion. They wouldn't know who to follow, and they'll be destroyed like that. Right? But now that he heard that Simon has put all the people in order under him, he just made a power move. He just said, yo, don't forget I have Johnathan, your brother. Right? What else did he say about that? Go ahead. It is for what?
Come on. It is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him.
Why did Tryphon make that proclamation? Why did he had to made a proclamation that it's only because of money that we have Johnathan? Why did he say that? Don't keep reading or cheating. Don't cheat. Okay, that's one idea. But you know what? I would say that's the short game. You know, you get some money from him, yeah.
Trying to cover the alternative.
Hold on, not you. Oh. We're wicked. Yeah, that's the short game. You know, Esau likes to play the long game. You know, especially with our people. You know, you think Esau would have got so many of our people will be what's the word? I can't even use that word on YouTube. What's what I'm looking for? LGBT. Yeah, I'll use that. So many more people would be encouraged to be a part of LGBT if Esau just gave it to them. No, slowly and slowly, he had to bring them to that mindset. Slowly over time, maybe 50, maybe 60, 70, a generation have to pass, 2 generations have passed, and at some point, LGBT is going to be the new black. You know? Huh? Damn, there you go, bam. Right? So Esau likes to play the long game. So what's the long game in him doing this? What about you, sis? You got it?
Not yet.
Okay, no problem. I know you'll get it.
I'm getting there.
Con. What's good, Cap? No problem. Give it to him.
First Maccabees chapter 13 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm. Read 14 again. 14, 15.
Verse 14. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Johnathan and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying,
Right.
Whereas we have Johnathan thy brother in hold, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him.
Now, I'm gonna help you and tell you that what he says here in verse 15 is an absolute lie. It's a lie. Why is it a lie? Because it wasn't initially stated to him, it wasn't initially stated to Simon until Tryphon found out that Simon's now the leader. Right? He's the new leader of Israel now. Right? So him saying this in verse 15 is a ploy. It's a game. He's playing a game. Right? So what was he trying to do when he brought that out, brought that information out? Think about it. Not you. Not you. You last. First to get the answer. Think about it. Nah. First Maccabees 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
He's saying this because he wants somebody to. Nope. Nope. He wants somebody to hear this. He's not saying this for no reason. Right? It's just like, perfect example, right? It's just like in the book of Kings when the Assyrians threatened Jerusalem. They came to Jerusalem. They were speaking to the officers of the king and the king as well, telling them, yo, this, that, and the third, Assyria's coming. They defeated all these other countries. Y'all can't do nothing. Submit now. Right? He said that to them in the Hebrew language. Right? And when they recognized that, they said, yo, keep this between us. They didn't keep that between them. They repeated it, said it loud in the Hebrew language so that all the people can hear it. The point is that they said it because they were seeking an audience. There was someone they wanted specifically to hear what they had to say. Right? And it was the people. They wanted the people to hear what he had to say. You understand? Because they wanted a reaction out of the people, not the king, right? Not his officers. It was the people. The reaction that they're going to get from the people is going to force the hand of the king, right? That's why the Assyrians did it. And it's the same thing here with Tryphon. If this was true, Tryphon would have already initially said this to Simon after he took Johnathan. He didn't do that. He only did this after he found out Simon was the new leader. Right? Which means the people are organized and they're going to what? Come spin the block for Johnathan. They're going to spin the block for Johnathan. Right? So now, let's see why. Go ahead, verse 16.
Verse 16. Wherefore, now send 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostages, that when he's at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go.
What did he say?
You want me to start
that last part. And we will
let him go.
And we will let him go. Right? Tryphon's not saying this for Simon. Simon already don't believe this guy. He's the devil. He's Caucasian. You understand? He's saying, Tryphon's sending this message for the ears of the people. Right? For the ears of the people. Same way Simon didn't proclaim, yo, I'm your leader now. Because some wicked Negroes would have taken advantage of that and say, I don't know. I can't trust Simon. Johnathan's not even dead. He just got taken. Why aren't you putting all your energy to go save him? some wicked Negroes would have taken advantage of that. That's why Simon let the people make him the leader, not himself. Right? So if the people hear that Jonathan's still alive, and Simon didn't do everything he could to save him, they would have turned their back on Simon. Right? And that's what Tryphon wanted. Go ahead and read.
Verse 17. Hereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, yet sent the money and the children,
Yeah, he sent the money and he sent Jonathan children anyway. Why?
lest peradventure he shall procure to himself great hatred of the people.
And he was going to procure great hatred of the people. Jonathan was the great leader that got Israel, got Samaria, got Galilee, got all of them territories under Israel at that time. The biggest accomplishment that Jonathan was able to obtain was what? He succeeded at one. What was his biggest accomplishment? Bringing the people together, but something else, something greater. Huh? Judas did that too. The biggest accomplishment that Jonathan was able to accomplish was making Israel independent. He made Israel independent. We was under them Greeks. They got separated into two, the Seleucid and the Ptolemies, right? And others, but those were the dominant groups, right? And we're stuck between these two oppressors at this time, right? And when the Maccabean revolt started, biggest accomplishment of Judas was claiming Jerusalem, claiming the temple, right? That's where we got Hanukkah from, right? Jonathan's, his was taking it further and making us independent from these heathen forces, right? So Jonathan stands at a very, what's the word I'm looking for? He stands out as a man in the eyes of the people, right? He's someone worthy of honor and glory and respect. And one more time? And famous. He's famous, right? So if Simon didn't put all effort into helping him, then the people would have been in disarray. They would have turned their back on Simon, right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. Who might have said, because I sent him not the money and the children, therefore is Jonathan dead. So he sent them the children and the 100 talents. Howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. And after this came Tryphon to invade the land and destroy it, going round about the way that leadeth into Adora. But Simon and his host marched against him in every place whatsoever he went. Now they that were in the tower sent message unto Tryphon into the end that he should hasten his coming unto them by the wilderness and send them victuals. Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night. But there fell a very great snow. By reason thereof he came not, and he departed, and came into the land of Galilee. And when he came near to Bascama, he slew Jonathan, who he was buried there. Afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then he sent Simon.
Simon was correct the whole time, but Tryphon had that upper hand. He was able to make that power move. He made a move that forced Simon to do what he needed him to do, right? Because when the minute Jonathan got captured, he was already dead, man. He was already dead. There was no way for him to escape. I mean, there was no trade that could be made because whatever they would have traded to Tryphon would not have been equivalent to Jonathan and his value, right, as an individual, right? Go ahead.
Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers. And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind it and before. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another for his father and for his mother and for his 4 brethren. And in these he made cunning devices about the which he set great pillars And upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memory. And by the armor ships carved that they might be seen all of the sail on the sea.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sculpture which is made at Modin. Sepulchre which is made at Modin. And it standeth yet unto this day. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. And he reigned in his stead, and crowned himself king of Asia, and brought a great calamity upon the land. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea, and fenced them about the high towers and great walls and gates and bars, and laid up victuals therein. Verse 34.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius, to the end he should give the land immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. Unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner: King Demetrius unto Simon the high priest, and king and friend of the king, and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and the nation of the Jews, send greeting. The golden crown and the scarlet robe which he sent unto us we have received, and we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you. Yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted.
Mm-hmm.
And whatsoever covenants we have made with you shall stand, and the strongholds which ye have builded shall be your own. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also which ye owe us, and if you were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall be no more to be paid. And look who are meet among you to be in our court, let them be enrolled, and let there be peace betwixt us. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 117th year. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. In those days Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war.
Hold on, I lost you. Where you at?
I'm at verse 43 now.
Okay, go ahead.
In those days Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and covered it and took it.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 44. And they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. And so much as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, and cried in a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. And they said, Deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. Verse 47. So Simon was appeased toward them, and fought them. So Simon was appeased toward them, and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city, and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into the songs and thanksgiving. Yea, he put all uncleanliness out of it, and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight, that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell, wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished throughout famine. Verse 50. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from their pollutions, and entered into it the 23rd day of the second month, in the 171st year, with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees, and with harps and cymbals and with viols, and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. He ordained also that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company.
All right, this is another custom. This is not an official feast day or anything like that. This is just like an example of how when, I forgot who it was. What's the old boy's name? It's in the book of Judges. Was it, he had the 70 brothers or something, like 70 concubines, something like that. He had sacrificed his daughter. I forgot his name, man. Was it Jephthah? It was Jephthah. Yeah, it was just like Jephthah. When Jephthah sacrificed his daughter, yeah. When that happened, the women of that time began a custom where they will mourn for her every year. So it's not like we do that, right? Or it's not something we see prevalent in Israel later on in the scriptures, right? But it is a custom that they were doing at that time, right? So we see that one thing, even though we may not have evidence of it later on being kept, but it's also possible that that the people would continue not doing it, because less than 200 years later, we see no evidence of them doing it in the first century. You know what I mean? Unlike Hanukkah, which is something that continued to be celebrated even up to Christ's era and later on from that. So it was just a custom that they were doing at that time. All right, go ahead.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 13, verse 53.
Mm-hmm.
And when Simon saw that John his son was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt in Gazaria.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 14. Now when the 112th year, King Demetrius gathered his forces together and went into Media to get him help to fight against Typhon. But when Asiris, the king of Persia, and Media heard that Demetrius was entered within his borders, he sent one of his princes to take him alive, who went and smote the host of Demetrius and took him and brought him to Asiris, by whom he was put in ward. Verse 4. As for the land of Judea, that was quiet all the days of Simon, for he sought the good of his nation in such wise, as that evermore his authority and honor pleased him well, and as he was honorable in all his acts. And so in this that he took Joppa.
Yeah, go ahead.
For an haven, and made an entrance in the isles of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and enlarged the bounds of his nation, and recovered the country, and gathered together a great number of captives, and he had the dominion of Gazaria and Beersheba and the tower out of the which he took all uncleanness. Neither was there any that resisted him. Verse 8. Then did they till their ground in peace, and the earth gave her increase, and the trees of the field their fruit. The ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious and warlike apparel.
Right. So we're seeing over time, this is a big difference compared to First Maccabees. Brother, it's funny. We're seeing a big difference compared to First Maccabees up to this chapter. In First Maccabees, we see that it was highly prevalent that there was a large group of our people who was keeping Hellenization, was becoming Greekified, and so on and so forth. And they were warring against the people who did want to keep their culture. As we see times going past, from Matthias, Judas, Johnathan, up to Simon, we're seeing less mentions of our people who are just following into that Greek culture. We're seeing more, it's either you're going to get down with these laws of God or you're going to be finished, right? Because there is no letter from some heathen king to give you a license to sin anymore, right? We're not getting down like that anymore. It's a new era, right? It's the era of Simon, right? So go ahead and read that.
Verse 10. He provided victuals for the cities and set in them all manner of munition, so that his honorable name was renewed unto the end of the world. He made peace in the land.
Give me a precept. Give me the book of Sirach 10. Someone down there. Sirach 10 and 1. 10:1 to 2. Come on. Go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
A wise judge will instruct his people,
Uh-huh.
and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
It's well ordered. Come on.
As the judge of the people is himself.
What did it say?
As the judge of the people is himself.
As the judge of the people is himself, right? I bring that example out because of during the book of Kings, you have this wicked king named Manasseh, right? During that time, it wasn't as if all our people was just wicked and wanted to serve idols and do idolatry. But it's because Manasseh was king at that time, and it's because that's what he wanted, and that was in his heart, he made it so, right? Everyone had to follow along with wherever the king had going on, right? If you want to serve idols, you're going to serve idols. He's not keeping the laws, guess what? You're not going to be keeping the laws, right? Because he's going to make it prevalent and spread it throughout the land to a point where everyone's going to get down to the get down. Everyone's going to get down to the program, right? But we can mirror that with Simon, right? We don't see any Jews who are contesting against him. We don't see no voice of some wicked Jew or Israelite who are saying, yo, we're not doing this, we're not keeping the laws, we're going to do this, that, and third. No. We see righteous men and young men putting out righteous breastplates of war, right? Right. A righteous generation, right? Khan, all praises. A righteous generation is unfolding, right? Go ahead and keep reading on that.
So are his officers.
What did it say?
So are his officers.
Right? The mentality and the spirit of the man who's leading is going to trickle down to his officers. Those who are contesting against that are going to be weeded out. You understand? Go ahead.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
And we already have plenty of examples of what kind of man Simon is. We've seen the times that he put his life at risk for his people, right? And the reasoning on what he was doing it for, right? And it was ultimately all for his people to be glad, his people to be openly be able to worship their God and keep their customs and follow their laws, right? So when you have a man like that who's leading the country, what do you think is going to end up with the rest of the people? Is he going to get down, or are you going to what? Get dead. Or are you going to get dead? No get down, no get gone, get dead. Go ahead and keep reading. You can drop that. Let's go back.
Verse 11. First Maccabees chapter 14, verse 11. He made peace in the land, and Israel rejoiced with great joy.
Mm-hmm.
For every man sat under his vine and his fig tree, and there was none to fray from. Neither was there any left in the land to fight against them. Yea, the kings themselves were overthrown in those days. Verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, he strengthened all those of his people that were brought low.
Mm-hmm.
The law he searched out, and every contemner of the law and wicked person he took away.
Yeah, exactly. All right. You're going against this law, you finish. Because during the time of Johnathan, when Johnathan was being established into position of power, a lot of our wicked of our people, they thought that this was still during the time of Judas. During Judas' time period, if they were wicked, they had to leave because Judas and his family were killing them. Right? If you're wicked, you don't want to keep God's laws, you want to be like these Greeks, we're going to put you to death. Right? So people were leaving our land. During Jonathan's time period, there was no leaving the land. Right? If you left, when his allyship with Antiochus, if you left, Antiochus would send soldiers out to go find you in that heathen country you was in and bring you back under Jonathan's authority, and he will deal with you as so, according to the law. Right? So this is the same spirit is carrying on with Simon's era, right? You can run, but you can't hide. You're going to be found. You understand? So go ahead and finish that. Read that again.
Verse 14. Verse 14. Moreover, he strengthened all those of his people that were brought low. The law he searched out, and every contemner of the law and wicked person he took away.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I want to say, Ba'ashem, Amasiak Yahushai, the water, the Myad, Aman. All praise to the Most High. Let's clap it up. Now, we have chapter 15 and 16 for next week. And alongside of that, we're going to be going to some information about the Hasmonean dynasty. And what's old boy name? A man named Yachanan, named John. All right? John Hyrcanus. All right? Do anybody know about John Hyrcanus? John Hyrcanus was the son of Simon. Right? Simon Thassi. Simon's the one. That's the one we were just reading about. Now, why is John Hyrcanus so important? It's because John Hyrcanus did a very significant thing in history that's never going to be forgotten. And you shouldn't forget it either, right? So during his time period, there was a war that was in Idumea, right, in Edom, right, with these Edomites, right? And when he defeated these Edomites, rather than doing what the law says, put these people to death, you know what John Hyrcanus did? He decided that he wanted to convert them. Either you die or you become Jews, right? Now, this concept of someone who isn't a Jew, what makes a man a Jew? Huh? Bloodline. How so? Who got evidence? Let me get a verse. Prove it.
Can I join in this?
You go ahead. Join that.
I don't trust you.
Let's get a verse and prove. What makes you a Jew? Let's see. Let's see what verses y'all get, man. All right. Because this is not originally where this concept came from, but it's highly goes back to John Hyrcanus, right? A lot of rabbis, a lot of these Amalekites, they're going to use this situation with John Hyrcanus and say he opened the doorway for people to convert to Jews, to become a Jew, right? This is the marking point in history where anyone could become a Jew. Go ahead, sis. What did you say?
Numbers chapter 1, verse 18.
Numbers 1:18? All right, I'm going to have one of these good brothers read it for you. Oh, praises. Go ahead. One of my good brothers. Read Numbers 1:18.
Numbers chapter
What you
1,
got?
verse 18.
Hmm?
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared the per degree after their families by the house of their families, according to the numbers of and the names, from 20 years old upward by their polls.
Absolutely. Right? Hold on one second. I got something to add on to that before I say something. Hold on 1 second. Where is this thing at? Let me see. Fathers. Okay. Okay. Do me a favor. Read that one more time, brother.
And Numbers 1, chapter 1, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they decreed their pedigree after their families
Mm-hmm.
by the house of their families, according to the numbers of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls.
That's good. Give us a hand. She went to the right verse. There you go. All praises. Absolutely. Right? It's declared by the house of your fathers, right? What makes you a Jew? What makes you of the nation that you are of is by your father, right? I want to get another verse to add on to the verse that Sister brought. Let's get Ezra 2 and 62. You can read it. Ezra 2 and 62. Ezra. The one in KJV. Ezra. Ezra. Yeah, 2:62. Right, this man. Well, a lot of these Amalekites would use him as an example and said, "This is when the doorway was open." Right. There was just other examples in the scriptures that can obviously be cut and confounded. Right, but this is the point that they will say that the door was open for men to become people who were not Israelites to be Jews. Right, read that verse.
The book of Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 62.
Uh-huh.
These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy,
Uh-huh.
but they were not found.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, we say,
Right, these were the Israelites coming back into the land and so on and so forth during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. And go ahead.
therefore were they, as polluted, put from priesthood.
Right, they wasn't able to be put into the priesthood. Right, these men who were reckoning themselves to be of the tribe of Levi and so on and so forth, they wasn't being allowed to come into the priesthood because of why? Go ahead.
And the Tirashanta said unto them, that they should not eat of the most holy things.
Why?
Till there stood up a priest with Urim and
Oh,
Thummim.
Salakia. Read 62 one more time.
Verse 62. These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy,
Right?
but they were not found. Therefore were they as polluted, put from priesthood.
So like, hold on. It's rephrased in Nehemiah. Hold on 1 second. They're leaving something out here. Hold on. There goes Nehemiah 7. It's gonna take too long to find it. It's in chapter 7. I'm gonna have to look for it. But the point is this, right? You're seeking your genealogy after your fathers. That's what you're seeking your genealogy after. And then they'll use his situation and say, boom, anybody can be a Jew. Because rather than just killing the Edomites, he told them, follow our practices, follow our customs, and then now you're a Jew. Which is not how we did things whatsoever, right? So this is why I want to go into John Hyrcanus next week, because he's going to be brought up in the book of Maccabees, right? And he is who Simon left the position of power in after he died, right? But before I speak on anything going on with that, there's one more thing I want to talk about. Let's go to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 11. Hold on 1 second. 11 and 32. Oh, you know what? Yeah, 31.
The book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 31.
Right, so for those who may not know, Daniel chapter 11 deals with multiple events, the war of secession, who would succeed Alexander. It deals with prophecy dealing with that. And it also deals with a lot of the events that takes place in Maccabees is being prophesied by Daniel in chapter 11, right? One of the significant events that's being prophesied here is the Maccabean revolt. The Maccabean revolt is being prophesied in Daniel chapter 11, right? And I wanted to give an example dealing with something that we were just reading about in Maccabees. All right, go ahead and read that. Daniel 11 and 31, yeah.
An arm shall stand on his part,
Uh-huh.
and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
What it say?
And they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
They're going to pollute the sanctuary of strength, and the sanctuary is in reference to the temple, right? The temple is going to be polluted but not destroyed, right? That's what the Greeks did. They polluted it but didn't destroy it. Go ahead.
And they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
Right, and the Greeks did what? They committed sacrilege, right? They committed sacrilege by defiling our temple, removing our altar. They burn all pig blood and swine in our temple to commit sacrilege. Go ahead.
And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries.
Right, and who's doing wickedly against the covenant? That's dealing with Maccabees chapter 1, Maccabees chapter 2 and 3, with a lot of our people who wanted that license to sin and commit wickedness, right? Go ahead. And the covenant is in reference to the covenant we have with the Lord. Go ahead.
But the people that do know their God.
The people that what? This same time period. Go ahead.
But the people that do know their God.
The people that know their God.
Shall be strong and do exploits.
And that exploits was the Maccabean revolt. Go ahead. Where they were able to take back Jerusalem, reclaim the temple, make Israel independent. Go ahead.
And they that understand among the people shall instruct many.
Right, and an example that the Maccabeans understood more than the people at that time is the fact that they were they specifically pointed it out. When they talked about the group of Israelites, 1,000 Israelites, they decided that they didn't want to go to war on the Shabbat. And they just died, right? And then Judas Maccabeus and his brethren pointed out in Matthew, they were like, yo, if we do the same thing, then we're going to die. And then that's it, right? And they didn't understand, what those 1,000 Israelites who died, they didn't understand something that the Judas Maccabean and his group did. And something that Christ taught us almost less than 200 years later, which was lawful to do what? Nah. It's lawful to do what in the Shabbat? Something specific.
Go to war on the Shabbat.
No. Broader. Y'all specific.
Fight back on the Shabbat.
Nope. It's lawful to do. There you go. Give it brother here, man. There you go. It's lawful to do good on the Shabbat.
Oh, okay.
Right? Christ said what? What's the point if you had 99 sheep and one sheep leg broke and fell into a damn canal, what are you going to do? You going to leave it behind because it's a Shabbat? Or are you going to go help that sheep? You're going to come back after the Shabbat, that thing going to be dead, boy. You know what I mean? So Christ is explaining to us, it is lawful to do good on the Shabbat. And what's more good than protecting your people, right? Because it's a Shabbat. You don't want to work. You don't want to struggle with the robber who's robbing your house. You're going to tell him, listen, I would love to shoot you to protect my family, but it's a Shabbat. What says thou, elder? Go ahead and read that.
Verse 33.
Uh-huh.
And they that understand among the people shall instruct many.
Right, and that's the Maccabees. They understood more than the people at that time and instructed many. Go ahead.
Yet.
What did it say?
Yet. They shall fall by the sword.
And they're going to fall by the sword, right? Now, the falling by the sword is something very specific. It's dealing with each individual of the Maccabees. Because when you look at the end of Judas Maccabeus, Johnathan, Eleazar, John Gaddy, Simon, that we're going to see next week, all five of these men, and Matthias, excluding Matthias, all five of these men all died in some type of war or conflict, right? They didn't die like their father Matthias in the grave or old age. They all died by war or bloodshed. None of them died by old age. You understand? So it's just like the prophecy said, they all died the same way. Go ahead, keep reading.
And by flame,
and
by captivity.
By captivity, which one of them was made a captive?
Johnathan.
Not you. This man wicked, man. It was Johnathan, right? Go ahead.
And by spoil.
And by spoil, go ahead.
Many days.
Many days, right? They were killed. What was the old boy named? Judas. He died at war. Eleazar, he was crushed by an elephant in war, right? John dies with Simon, right? Johnathan died in captivity, right? So all of them are going to all die, right? Just like prophecy said. But go ahead, keep reading.
Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help.
They're going to be hoping with a little help. What's the example of the little help? During the time of Johnathan, he made an allyship with Antiochus, and that's what led to us becoming independent, right? Giving us more room, taking away that taxation they were putting on Jerusalem. You understand? Go ahead.
But many shall cleave to them with flatteries.
Many going to cleave to them with flatteries. Who cleaved onto the children of Israel with flatteries? Demetrius, right? When you read the book of Maccabees chapter 10, there's like 30 verses, all these things that he's going to promise us to make an allyship with him, and he don't intend to follow up with any of those things. You understand? Go ahead and keep reading.
Verse 35.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them understanding shall fall to try them, and to purge and to make them white, even to the end of time.
All right, and just like we was reading just in the last chapter, we see the conclusion of what they were all working up toward, right? Getting our people back to that position where a man can sit under his vine and eat his fruit without the fear of his neighbors committing idolatry or committing some type of wickedness, right? Getting our people back into that position where we can keep our laws, right? Keep our customs, keep our feast days. You understand? Any questions? Okay, Con. All right, go ahead. Let me finish that.
Because it is yet for a time appointed.
Yeah, it's yet for a time appointed, right? That peace, that purging of wickedness, Like we read in that last verse in 1 Macc chapter 14, where he said he's contending, he's seeking out all those who have a contention against the law, all the wicked among our people. That time period where the wickedness is low and righteousness is an all-time high, that'll only be for a time. Because we know soon enough, who's going to take over next? Nope. Huh? The Herodian dynasty. Herod and his family, right? They're going to take over the Hasmonean dynasty, right? The Edomites are going to rule, claiming themselves to be Jews, right? Because of John Hyrcanus, right? Who's going to take over after the Greeks? The Romans. And we're back into captivity and slavery. But it was prophesied for a time we're going to have that peace, right? And it was going to be through these men. But with that, I want to say all praise to the Most High. We got a few minutes left. If there's any questions, I'll take it. If not, we'll close out.
That last verse read in Maccabees,
Mm-hmm.
I think it said he strengthened those that were low.
Right. Right.
Does that mean like he uplifted the people that were like slaves or doing bad, or does that mean that he actually brought? Does that mean they actually brought the wickedness out of the land?
It's more so something more literal, right? And what it's literal about is that when you read the book of 1 Maccabees, a lot of our people who had possessions, houses, territories, things like that, they had left those things behind. They basically became homeless. They had nothing. Just like Judas Maccabees and his family, they fled into the wilderness and left their possessions behind. Modin was taken over by the wickedness of our people and the heathens. That city, when it says the city of our fathers, that city was gone. So they had nothing, right? And a lot of our people who lost a lot of these possessions, they gained them back under Simon and Johnathan, right? Right, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? You know, when the wicked is in rulership, what happens to the righteous? They're going to be in the bottom. You know what I mean? When the righteous is on top, the righteous is going to come up as well. You know what I mean? Any more questions? I see you, Captain Alio. You got wood burning. Go ahead, Doc. Okay, come on. All right, all praise to the Most High. With that, we're going to blow the shofar. And I pray all the brothers and sisters, you enjoy your Shabbat service. Enjoy your Shabbat night, right? Go over this history, study these scriptures, and prepare yourself for next week when we go into this Friday history. All right, all praises. Let's rise and face the east. Come on. Blowing the shofar. We're going to begin the prayer. Come on. Where's this thing, man?
Am I doing the prayer?
There you go. It was acting up. There you go. All right. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Come on. Psalms 133, repeat the Hebrew after me. Shayar,
Shayar,
Hamalayawath,
Amaiwan,
Laduwad,
Yadawad,
Hana,
Hana,
Ma,
Ma,
Tawab,
Tawab,
Wama,
Wama,
Nayam,
Nayam,
Shabbath,
Shabbat,
Akyam,
Akim,
Gum,
Gum,
Yakad,
Yakai,
Kashaman,
Kashaman,
Hatawab,
Atawab,
Isle,
Al,
Harash,
Arash,
Yerad,
Yorad,
Isle,
Al,
Hazakwan,
Azakwan,
Zakwan,
Zakwan,
Aharan,
Aharan,
Shayarad,
Shayarad,
Isle,
Al,
Paya,
Payah,
Madiwathiwa,
Madawathawad,
Kato,
Koto,
Karamran,
Kawanwan,
Shayarad,
Shayarad,
Isle,
Al,
Hariyah,
Ariyah,
Kayasham, Tazawa,
Tazawad,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ath,
Af,
Habarakah,
Abrakad,
Kayam,
Kayam,
I,
I,
Hawalam,
Ilam,
Bahashem,
Hashem,
Hamasyat,
Amasyat,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
the water,
Thawada,
Thumyad,
Tamyad,
Amun.
Aman. The book of Psalms, chapter 133 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there Yahweh commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem, Amashiach Yahushai, Thawada, Thamyad, Aman.
Amen.
Let's clap it up. All praise to the Most High God. Yahweh Shem is with us. Shalom.